What's happening, people? Big news today, apparently. So I'm saying, but the main thing is, yeah, subscribe, hit the like button. Don't be a bozo, innit? I used to be someone watching these streams saying, "Oh, why doesn't people listen to the viewers and actually hit the like button?" It's not hard. Do you know what I'm saying? So do that. Enjoy the stream. Every single one of us, like in the show, you put your name down where you're watching from. Because I got Will, who's not even from the UK. You know, like
Yeah.
that. And by the
Big
way,
up,
you're not
bro.
Canadian, you're American, right?
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah, yeah. I'm
bugging
from
out.
America, bro.
Fam,
Not
you know how many
Canada.
times I get caught like that? Like, I'll be like, so, are you American? And they'll be like, nah, I'm Canadian, man. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, sometimes Canadians have an accent where you could tell if they're from Canada, but other times they don't. So I mean, I could definitely get why somebody from like the UK would be
people say
caught out
that,
by
innit?
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
100%. Big up Paddy in the building, man. One sec, one sec. Introduce yourself, Will, to the viewers.
Yeah, yo, big up, guys. Football Carnage, Real Madrid fan, but talk about Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, whatever, bro. And I'm a holder in Chelsea stocks. But
Oh,
Ches,
please,
I might
man.
have to cash in on
This-
these stocks,
No,
bro.
don't give me this rubbish.
I'm seeing those
Don't give
Garnacho
me this.
links, my guy. I'm thinking, what's going on here? Like you know what I'm saying? Like the stock
Listen,
price is starting to go back down, bro. Like I was holding on,
you
but the
represent the
transfer
club,
news-
yeah? You put this
Hmm?
around me because I feel like I need to put this on today. Yeah, I feel like I need to put this on to deflect away to get from the hate and the pressure on my football club because the joke. Yo,
I don't know
don't
if
just
you're showing something, bro, but your camera is like black. It's like just me on this stream. So like
wait,
right
I'll come
now,
back
it
and come back
shows
in.
like your
Yeah,
profile
you come back in.
picture that says rattled. But then like when you take that off, it's just like a black square. And then now it's just me. So hey, look, people, if you're coming in, right, make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe to the channel as well, get in the live chat, keep showing my boy Ches some love because he needs it. You know what I'm saying? Chelsea right now, it's not looking good. All right, my boy is back. He's back. Yeah, you're good now, bro.
You see it now?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see you know what I'm saying? I look like a shake, bro. I feel like I'm in like the Middle East, bro.
Nah, bro.
Yeah,
You
man.
like you own Man City, bro.
By the way, this is my outfit for this stream because my club might be improving in their transfer approach. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Because apparently I'm gonna get it up, but we'll talk first before I get the info up. Because I don't want to get up anything willy nilly. I actually want to understand what's going on. But apparently, Chelsea, very, very confirmed now, 100%, that we're going to bid for them. And do you see the Sassy links and the Felix links? Fab's reported it. I think Ornstein hasn't reported it, but Fab's reported it. Fabrice has reported it. He's very close to Chelsea. The French links. Chelsea get rid of the Sassy. We're getting rid of Felix, probably to Aston Villa as well, in exchange for Durant and money. If that was to happen, what would you say?
I think it'd be a good bit of business because you definitely need another striker, bro. Like Nicholas Jackson in front of goal is just shaky, bro, like how he's always been. And I think he is a good player, but I think Chelsea also need like another option. I think like Jackson should be coming off the bench more times than not, especially for a team that's trying to, finish in top 4, win titles and things like that. I just don't think that Jackson's good enough to be your main guy. John Duran, he had a good start this season at Villa. Kind of fizzled out a little bit, though. I haven't really been hearing too much about him lately because I don't watch Villa as often. But I know that he has a lot of potential. But I just don't even think that he's the striker that you guys need as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like maybe he could be a little bit more clinical than Jackson, but I still don't rate him as like that top striker that should be starting week in, week out. Like the guy can't even get in over Ollie Watkins. So, I mean, it's not bad business because you are targeting an area that you need, which is a goal scorer. And maybe he could prove me wrong. I just don't view him as like that striker, to be honest.
Here's the thing, yeah. Like, here's the thing. So I'm gonna go put it up on the screen in a minute. But the main thing is that he is an actual striker. Okay. So although he hasn't shown much, the market is the market. Well, you know this. When there's scarcity on the market, prices inflate. There's not many strikers out there. So Duran by default is going to be 80 million, which is peak. So in the context of you sell 2 players, you get a market opportunity, which is Chelsea's favorite words, the PR, yeah, and you buy him 50 million. Is it worth the 50 million risk? Yes. Because you get a striker who's proven, can score in big games, his natural profile you need, good in the air, good height, adds composition to Jackson. Technically, he's sound a little bit. He's not as good as Jackson dribbling wise, but doesn't need to be, right?
Yeah,
That's a gamble. Yeah, like that's a gamble worth taking, in my opinion. Obviously, he's not. Is he world class? No. Has he got potential to world class? I don't know. Probably not. But guess what? It solves an issue for this season, and it gives you a profile at least. Do you know what I'm saying? At least you
fair
have
enough.
that. You know what I'm saying?
Fair
what are you
enough.
saying
Because like Duran, and I agree with you, bro. Because he's not a player that needs to be as good on the ball as Nicholas Jackson is, because your attack is already filled with technical players that create chances anyways. So you just need somebody that could put them away. And I do think that he will be better in front of goal than Nicholas Jackson. But I just think, like, how much you're saying? What, like 60 million that he would cost?
I think Disasi will go for 20-ish.
Okay.
And then Felix will go for what?
Like 30, maybe?
30? 25 to 30? So
About
if
50
he's 100 million euros, if Al Hilal, I think the ones looking for him 100, they all quoted 100 million, right? That's what the quoted was, the max, right? That's crazy. That's about 85 million.
Mad,
pounds.
bro.
No, it's mad. It's actually done. 85 million pounds. So if you maybe you have to give them 40 million, which is nothing. That's nothing.
I think that would be good business for about 40 million.
That's good business if you don't have the profile. It is. If you have the like, you were saying, context.
I mean, and then thing is, you guys do have the money because you were willing to spend what 58 million for Garnacho. So Duran is a lot better business than Garnacho is, because you actually don't need a winger. You do need somebody more clinical up front. But doesn't ask you a question, bro. Wouldn't you rather that money? Wouldn't you rather that, let's say, 50 to 60 million that you could possibly get Duran for? Wouldn't you rather them use that money for maybe a goalkeeper or a top center back? Because 50 to 60 million can get you a top goalkeeper, or it could get you a top defender. I feel like maybe that's better value for your money. And then maybe in the summer you can go in for another striker that, you know, is a better level versus maybe settling for Duran just for right now.
Great question, man. Great challenge. Here's what I'll say to that. I feel like Jorgensen, despite the fact we haven't seen much of him, can do a job better than Sanchez. So I feel like for now, he can prove himself the next 6 months and be the first team goalkeeper and kick Sanchez out. So I'll save that money for the summer. The defensive argument, I agree with you, but I feel like despite our defense and despite Sanchez, we still be winning more games. So if you look at the last, I don't know if you've watched every single game in our 1-in-7 wins, right? Every single one of the games was similar to City, where we're dominating the game, missing chances, team fatigues, the opposition scores, or they win the game and draw it. We haven't come out with any wins. 1 win in 7. The same storyline. Missed chances, the fatigue happens, the mentality goes, game's done. So if we had a striker, for example, I could argue those games where the Bournemouth game, for example, or the Palace game, for example, the game's done. You know, so even if they do score, it's 3-1, or it's 2-1, or it's 4-2. You know what I'm saying? So you could do a Liverpool 5 years ago that outscored teams and still came out with the game in the league, right? Do you get my point? And then later on, you can address the defense and you can address the goalkeeper. Right now, I feel like striker is a bit more of an issue because Jackson is stinking. He's stinking.
Yeah.
And he's been stinking for like 2 months. It's not even been like, bro, he's been bad since what? Before Brentford, when he scored, he was bad. That was what? November? December time?
Yeah.
He's been bad for a while. Like a while. Even the other day, everyone watched the City game in the chat, right? Yes, Palmer's pass was over here. Use your left foot.
Yeah, bro. Duran, he should have did it.
Will, if that's Duran, does he score that? We'll talk to you, Will.
No. Yeah, well, Duran would have definitely shot it. Like, whereas Jackson just gets it and then he looks to cut back and then taking all these. Hey, bro, just shoot it. Just shoot it, bro.
I don't care if Duran's left-footed. If you're a striker, you should be shooting there first time.
He's shooting that. Yeah, no.
And then if anything, you go around the goalkeeper. Don't hesitate and wait for Sancho. And then Sancho's hitting it for, like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying?
But do you think that you dominated that City game? Because you said that, like, you're 1-in-7. That run that has been similar to the City game where you've been dominating. You think you dominated that game?
No, we did. So what I mean by dominating is, you see the first 25 minutes of games, that's what it's like against City the rest of the last few games, where we score a goal early and then we'll do well for like 25 minutes. And then
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
hit 25, 30, and then there's a sit back, sit back, sit back, sit back. And if you're a good enough team, you'll score at least once, like Man City did. And if you're average team, you might have your chances, and you'll go into halftime 1-0 down. They come out like Bournemouth do, score 2 goals. Bournemouth scored 2 goals after the break, game done. Bang.
Yeah.
And then, you see what I'm saying? So in the small margins, would I rather will in general small margins up front or defense? Deep what I'm saying. If you're saying 50 million, you have to choose attacker or defender, yeah, I'd rather the small margin go on the attacker. Because if I can outscore teams, I feel like that's a bit more.
But I feel like you can outscore teams even without the striker. Because
we're not doing it, Will. We're not doing it.
Nah, that's true. But I just
in our
feel
last
like
7 games, we scored like 5 goals.
No. That's fair, bro. But I feel like your defense in terms of your center backs and your goalkeeper is a much bigger issue than Nico Jackson. Like Levi Caldwell, bro. This guy is a bozo.
No, I hear you.
Oh my goodness me. Yo, Chelsea fans told me a dream like when he came back from Brighton. Like, I thought this guy was going to be him. He's a bozo. And then next to him, right, Fofana is never fit. Right now, Trevor Chalobah is not arguably. Trevor Chalobah, he is your best center back, and he spent most of this season at Crystal Palace. Right, Josh Achimpong, the young kid, he looks like he's promising, but bro, your center back options. I know Desachi's about to go to Villa, and I don't know what's going on with Badiashile, but he's shit. So I feel like your defense is a much bigger issue than your attack, because at least in your attack, right, you know that if Cole Palmer's on it, he got you that day, right? Sancho's there as well. You still have Pedro Neto, right? So I feel like your attack and your midfield is still your strength, even though, yes, you guys do need a better goalsman up front. But defensively, bro, and I didn't even talk about your goalkeeper. Like, what is Sanchez doing there for Haaland's goal? Why are you running out? I don't, bro, you know what 50 million could get you? 50, 60 M's, bro? That could get you Diogo Costa from Porto. The Portuguese goalkeeper. He's a baller. Like that can, bro, like that fixes your goalkeeping issues right there. 50, 60 million could go get you a center back. Bro, you could probably even go get, like, look at the guy from, like, Bournemouth, for example. Like Dean Huijsen, right?
Hey, Will. Talk to me nice, Will. Talk to me nice. Because look, and I believe these reports, by the way. I know they're briefings, PR, but Fab obviously reported this, that Chelsea, they're aware.
Oh my goodness.
Why are you saying, oh my goodness me?
I know that you guys were actually linked him because I kind of want Madrid to go in for him.
Yeah, like
Chelsea, clubs, bro. Y'all taking like all the targets, bro.
Like when Fab reports this, there's 2 reasons. Yeah, I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
It was PR because we lost. That's a fact. This came out literally hour after we lost the game, so PR obviously. But crazy. Also, Chelsea have been linked to this guy before yesterday's loss or 2 days ago's loss. So,
bro,
Chelsea
he's a top player.
Yeah.
He's a baller. This guy is
a I think he's 5-0, so it's not expensive.
Nah, bro, 50 million.
Wait. Well, that's what I'm saying to you. If we can sort something like this out, ASAP, you bring in a Duran. Now all of a sudden you've got a decent spine.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you now though. You can only pick one right now. Him or Duran, 50 million. Where's that money going? Right now, you could sign
here's
one
the
of
thing,
them.
Will. I have to be an idiot. I have to give you context. We can't get both now. It's unfair. Because we're not going to get what's his name? How do you say it? Huijsen now.
Yeah,
so it's a bit unfair comparison. You know what I'm saying? I would, but obviously, okay, let's be hypothetical here. Why not? It's tough. You got me a bit. I can't lie. Because
you know, bro, your attack. Your attack is more than capable of just turning it on.
Because if we had him in, like, who would he partner though? Because he could play both. And they're all average. Who would he partner? Because they're all average defenders. I know. Big up Couch for joining, by the way. They're all average defenders. Who would he join? Who would be his partner?
I feel like Levi Caldwell won't be dropped. To be honest,
he should be though. He's too lightweight. You seen him the other day.
He should be, but I just feel like your club, like, they really want him to be like the guy. But if we're going off the fairness, it should be Chalobah and him if he was to come in on a hypothetical thing. But I just feel like your club don't really respect Chalobah, right? We all saw how you guys treated him You forced him out. It's not even like a Conor Gallagher situation where his contract was running down, right? Like Chalobah wanted to be there. The club wanted him off the books. You guys froze him out, sent him on loan just to bring him back. So I feel like your club don't really respect the guy. So I feel like he would probably be the one to get dropped. If but just I know it's all hypothetical. Look, Bournemouth are flying at the moment. They're not going to sell anybody right now. But that guy is a top player, bro. He's good on the ball. He's good aerially. He's good in 1v1 defending. Like he's a top center back, bro. And I know a lot of clubs are looking. I didn't even know that you guys were linked though. But
it came out literally. I've reported it literally hour or two after the loss that Chelsea, that side-eye emoji, are aware of his release clause. I don't know whether we're going to trigger it. I think you can agree personal terms and then be the first one to trigger it.
Yeah, because if there's a buyout clause, you don't even have to talk to Bournemouth. You just have to just trigger it. You don't even have to negotiate.
Release clause doesn't mean the club. But the problem is obviously everyone else will be in for him. So you got to be in there early. That probably means Chelsea speaking to him now. Like, yo, read these terms. We're gonna get it sorted out.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, I can't see Chelsea going in from now. It's not gonna happen. Like, I agree with you. That's gonna make the price go mad. Someone's a good point here. This is what I was saying to you, Will. Give me Duran. The problem of our defense now is the goalkeeper, which I think is partially true. Meaning,
not true.
Okay, cool. This is my thing. Yeah, I agree with both you and Coucher. I agree that the defense is an issue, but I feel like the goalkeeper's errors are like main issues to why we can see goals as well as the defense. I don't think the defensive errors are as big as what his errors are. Like that Wolves goal, for example, had nothing to do with the defenders. Zero. Even the goal Haaland scored, that was Cole, fair enough. But even before that, he's just making, even the goal they scored, the tap-in from Thingy, he wasn't strong enough. Madueke.
You're gonna have situations where yes, Sanchez is the problem, but overall our defensive structure is not strong. Like we're playing a high line with guys that can't defend 1v1. Colo was awful against Man City, and we're talking about Chalobah. Chalobah, he works in a 3. He doesn't really work as a pairing. You know what I mean? Like, he got exposed too. Even for the third goal, he got exposed. So it's not. I don't think that it comes down to. No, number one, first of all, this Huijsen guy, the Bournemouth guy. First of all, if we go in for him, for me, that is the Fofana replacement, because all shit hit the fan when Fofana got injured.
Days, I forgot about him, Coach.
Right? Okay, so Fofana was our best defender, right?
Yeah.
He was the guy that was able to hold the high line. He was the guy that was able to defend 1v1. When he went down, all the shit hit the fan. Look what happened over the Christmas period without Fofana. Defensively. And even just structurally, like what we're trying to do. Remember, we had to put Disasi at right back because we don't have Fofana. Fofana does so much to solidify what we want to do ideal-wise as well. So yeah, I'm not necessarily. I think Sanchez is a problem, but bringing in someone like Jorgensen isn't going to solve the overall problem, the overarching problem with this team right now. Like defensively, we're just not sound. Whoever's in net, we're leaking goals, and it's because our structure is such that we're playing a high line. We're not really balancing offense and defense. We're not looking to play compact to shrink the pitch. Like any one of those defenders that you mentioned right now, even Disasi, if they play a low block defense, Badiashile, any of those guys, they'll be fine in that setup. They'll be fine. It's as soon as you start playing a little bit more expansively, when you start playing ball-playing center backs, play with a high line, that's where they get exposed, because number one, they don't have a turn of pace. Number two, their ability to defend 1v1 in open areas is awful. And yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily, there's not a lot of footballers in world football right now that can play that way and be effective, be an alpha in that role, because that's what we're after right now.
It's true.
It's not like finding a guy that can just be okay in that position. You need an alpha right now. We don't have a boss, a general in the back line. Not one. You can say Kobo's probably emerging as one. He seems like a guy that has got some leadership qualities, but he's not necessarily. He'd have to develop immensely to become that alpha. He'd have to really develop, but he's still in the infancy of his career, so it's very hard to evaluate him as being anything other than a young center back.
100%. But in terms of short term, though, to fix an issue you just said, there's a few ways you could fix that. The setup the manager can do better in terms of dropping the line, make us more compact to suit the
For
players,
sure.
which he's not going to do. We all
No.
know he's not going to do that, because the reason why we know he's not going to do that, to Will's question earlier, is because Leicester, he was stubborn. Chelsea in the last 7 games, we've won 1 game. He's kept it the same. So he's not going to change it all of a sudden now. Yeah. The second issue is the board. Yes, if you're going to get a man to play this style, back him with better quality players. Because clearly, him not playing Felix and stuff, it's not a coincidence. He just doesn't rate them. Maybe not footballing wise, he probably does, but for the system, he probably doesn't. That's why they don't play. That's why they're looking to be sold. So that's why, to answer your question, Huijsen, whatever his name is a brilliant baller, but he can't come in now. So I'd rather address one issue than address none of them. That makes sense. So even though the goalkeeper's an issue, I agree with Dennis in to a certain degree, I do want to see Jorgensen come in despite the setup, because I think Sanchez is making too many individual errors despite the defensive line. And I want to see a striker come in, because even despite this, even despite our last 7 games, where the manager being poor individual errors, we still should have won at least half of them. There's a chance we missed. That's what I'm saying to you. I'm not alleviating any blame. I'm not saying there's no issues defensively or goalkeeper-wise, but if Chelsea are going to go this market opportunity rubbish, then get me at least an issue we're addressing, rather than just doing a Felix type signing. Do you know what I mean, Will? Like, what's your thing on like Maresca and like the fact he's been stubborn? Do you feel like he should do a Amorim and just keep what he's doing? Then when the players come in, he's looking so like Huijsen and Durant come in, and you get Louise as cover, or do you think he should change it up?
See, I think Maresca's in a tough spot because he's still a fairly inexperienced manager. Like, I know that he was with Leicester City last season. They won the championship and whatnot, but he's kind of taken a massive step up now by coming to a team like Chelsea, who spent all this money, and the expectations are to be in that top 4, right? I don't think, like the title race talk earlier, I think that was mainly just because of other teams underperforming, and Chelsea just kind of capitalized, but nobody actually thought that Chelsea were going to be in a title race this season. I think top 4 was a good aim, but I just think that he's in a really tough spot, because now it's like, if you go away from your identity as a manager, right, then now when you try to go back to it later on, this can now cause confusion, because now you've trained players to, let's say, do something else, but now you're going to ask them to do something completely different. So I think he should stick to what he's doing. I think that the squad that Chelsea have, so Maresca's a manager that likes to play, likes to build up slowly, right? Very technical kind of players. I think Chelsea have the personnel that fits what he wants to do perfectly. It's not like a Amorim thing at Manchester United where just the personnel for his system is not there. Maresca has the players to run that system. Again, I just don't really think that he can do anything else, in my opinion. Now, I'm not a Chelsea fan, so you guys will be able to tell me a little bit more. But I don't think any manager will be able to go into that team with the defense and goalkeeper that you have, and then with Nicholas Jackson up front, and necessarily do anything better, if that makes sense. Because he's putting Nicholas Jackson in the best 100%. Positions to thrive. Nicholas Jackson just does not have the capability to thrive at the top level as the main striker.
I agree with you.
The manager, but
I agree with you. That's why I agree with Dennis obviously saying about the defensive high line and stuff. But I don't want him to change that, because I know if you bring in better personnel, you don't need to change it.
Yeah, but like, how realistic is it to bring in better like personnel at this point, right?
Yeah, it's not gonna happen in January.
And like,
if we're talking about right now, but it is realistic too. What do you mean? It is.
Okay, so how many center backs do we have at the club right now?
Not that
including Anselmino. Like, I mean, registered at the club.
Yeah, yes, we have centre backs, but half of them are leaving. Disasi's leaving today. Disasi's leaving. Fact.
Okay.
Chalobah's leaving in summer. That's a fact.
He?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. Right. You know this already. You know this.
I don't know this, actually. I don't.
I know.
Disasi and Chalobah are definitely leaving. Aaron's just joined, so he won't be trusted to play. So even though he counts, he's not someone I would register as a first teamer. So you've got Colwell left, Fofana, who doesn't touch pitch, Badiachile, who never touches the pitch.
There's
who
still
else?
roster players though. Like I'm gonna say, like
Who
how-
knows? Who else?
Like, it's a lot of players. It's still
it's a lot of players, man.
Yeah,
a lot of
Nah.
players.
I think a centre back is doable. That's my point. I don't think it's a.
It's not.
bad one.
It's not impossible. I'm just saying that like it's not realistic when you look at the numbers that we already have in the fold. Okay, I'm talking about in January. I don't think that anything's happening in January.
January, no. But
Come the summer,
in
the so okay. Maybe we're talking about two different things then. So
yeah, if we're talking about summer, then yeah. Now, no.
He should play that kid, Josh. I would try. Like I would just throw him out there, bro. Like
no, he to me is the prototype in that position. If you're playing like a right-sided like center back in that 3, he's basically what you want in that role. He's pacey, he's composed on the ball. Only thing he lacks, and it was probably what we lack as a team, is experience. He's just too young.
Yeah.
And like you can't put a guy like that. Like we have such a young squad as is, like one of the youngest in Europe. You can't put another 18-year-old in that setup and expect the team to reach objectives, whether or not they think that they don't have objective. Like we're top 4 is an objective. Champions League's an objective. We have to reach that this year. So how young of a squad do you want to build and hope that they can get Champions League with Josh in there? I would give him minutes, to be honest, because the alternatives to me are, just as bad, if not worse. Like when you consider what Disasi was doing at that position. But now Reece James is back. They're not going to be looking to really, thrust him forward too much. He's probably going to maybe invert in the midfield every now and then you're going to see Cucurella fly up and down the pitch on the other side. So you're not going to see him be as mobile as he can be. We're not going to be using him in his most effective role. So the opportunities for even somebody like Josh to come in and play, like I don't think he's strong enough to play as an actual center back. Like I don't think that you can play him in the middle. And it seems like what Maresca's looking like, he wants either one of Tosin or Colwell to play in the middle of the 3.
Forgot about Tosin.
Yeah, he's forgettable. He's forgettable. Exactly. He's forgettable, bro. Like seriously, he is forgettable. Like many of the defenders that we have, right? He's forgettable, right? And we brought in Chat. Like, what does it say to you? Like, Chalobah hasn't played under this manager all year. Comes back into the side off a loan, being loaned out, and he gets 2 back-to-back starts. The last game, Tosin played, and then he took out Tosin and kept Chalobah. Like, what does that say? We don't have a defense right now, man. We don't have anyone that we can rely on to say that, like, yes, this is the stability that we need to build on wins. This is not the foundation for conducive to building wins.
Yeah.
So like I agree with Will. I think we need to address the defense. I think we need to address the numbers in midfield, which is another thing. It's not necessarily the quality, but the numbers, right? We lose Lavia to an injury, and now we're skin bare. And I think that we need a striker, like a real striker. I think that Nkunku can certainly score goals for you, but the rigid role that is being offered by Maresca right now, this, run up and down the pitch and like press the ball and like there's not a lot of strikers that can do that effectively, and I think there's a role for Nkunku in that role, but you have to vary your tactics to suit what his strengths are. And we haven't done that in any way, shape, or form. You substitute Jackson and you bring in Nkunku, and then you expect him to play the exact same way as Jackson does. No, I want him to be a plan B. I want him to come out and give us something different. And in order for him to give us something different, we have to play a different way to suit his skill set. We don't do that. So we're looking for a like for Jackson now. Like, again, you guys are talking sense too about like not wanting to vary tactics too much, like not wanting to, sacrifice your principles in situations where you don't have the optimal playing staff, right? You still have to play your way of football. This is how you instill the qualities that are conducive to your style of football. But at the same time, if you don't have the personnel to pull it off, like we've been good up until a certain point when we didn't have a rash of injuries. At some point, you have to recognize that what you have in the reserves is not good enough to play that style of football. And as a result, if you're going to sacrifice you may not be able to sacrifice the entire system for what it is, but you have to sacrifice some of the building blocks of your principles in order to continually see wins. Like there's a game like Chelsea are up 1-0 late I can't even remember what it was. Maybe it was even can't remember what it was 1-0 late, and we're still looking for the second goal. Still looking for the second goal. What was it? You're muted. You're muted, bro.
Chaz, you're muted, bro.
It was Fulham. We conceded 2 goals in 10 minutes.
Okay. So
And it was
instead of
85 minute, 1-0 up.
okay, so at that point, instead of like seeking the second goal to kill the game, maybe at that point you're trying to like shore it up. If you've gone 85 minutes without scoring, maybe just shore it up now and just secure the win. We're still looking to score to kill the game. He only has one way to play, man. And like for me, I want a manager that can see out matches and like has a system that is like, if this isn't working, this is what we need to do to see out the match. These are young players. They have to learn to do that. They have to learn to win ugly. And it's not always about like just keeping your foot on the pedal and hoping for the best results, So that's what it is for me. He's a young manager, though. I think Will said that too. He's a young manager. He has a lot to learn, And if at the weekend, I feel like Pep just gave him a lesson in football, like how you set up teams, how you attack weaknesses, and how you present not just one problem, but 2 or 3 problems that you have to solve in match. And like it wasn't close. You can say the first 20 minutes we were okay. We had a couple opportunities, but after that, it was all Man City, 100%.
Yeah, and then it was crazy also, like with the Man City game is like the start that that defender had for them, Abdul him, like he was rattled, and I saw a video of like Nicholas Jackson. I mean, like it's a good gesture, but like Nico Jackson kind of like give him like some like encouragement, and I'm thinking, like, why are you not killing this kid? Like, you should be smelling blood in the water, and you should be going at him, right? But he kind of like tapped him, like keep your head up, kind of. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like,
right?
Not that it's not but you do that after the game, right? He should have went directly at him. This guy was on a yellow card after like what, the 4th minute?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think like that aggression, like also from your attack, needs to be there a little bit more as well. And again, like that is spearheaded by a Nico Jackson, but I still do think that Chelsea's team is very good. I just think that the holes that you have, like they're like it's very obvious, like what holes you have in your
I agree with that.
Like, and that's why I think like even when like the Garnacho links were coming up, I think everybody was like, aside from Garnacho being mid, right? We're not gonna even talk about that. But it's just like it's not even a position of need. Like even if this was a winger that was a good player, right? Let's say like we all rated Garnacho and he was a baller, it would still be like, yo, we don't really need a winger right now. Like we need a you need a striker, you need a center back or goalkeepers. Like so like that just has me questioning like what exactly your board is thinking. And I feel like while you guys have done well in terms of talent that you've acquired, because you do have a very talented side, and then you guys have guys like Esteval coming in, like Kendry Pies and etc. It does have me still question them on if they know what they're actually doing in terms of building a title-winning side, because it seems like they're just building a team full of assets that they can sell in the future.
Yeah, so this is the thing. They deal with market opportunities. So the reason why Garnacho's been bought now, and you're questioning him, everyone's questioning, it's not because we need him. It's not because the manager needs him now. It's because he came as an opportunity in the January market to get him for cheaper in order to sell him in the future. That's the only reason why we're going in for him. The only reason. There's no footballing reason why. Zero. The only
but then does that make you nervous then about like some of your other players, like
this is the thing.
Like a Cole Palmer? Because then like how long will he want to stay?
This is the thing. I've never been until probably the other day. I've never really been pessimistic on my ownership. This is a lot wider conversation, bro. Yeah, I've never been one to go clown late. What are they doing? They're confused. A lot of people have though. They don't think the squad building has been good enough. They don't think players like Felix were needed. Why are you buying Felix for? Like anyway, we'll move on. Why are you buying this player? What's the Sassy still doing there? Why you still got Sanchez, etc. Right? But I gave them a bit of a bligh because it's difficult, rare. But now, where your team in the same position it was last year hasn't really improved that much, and the holes are glaring, like you've said, and they're going for Garnacho, that shows you what they're about. And that's where I come in and go, hold it a minute. Even me being less pessimistic, I'm going, we need a striker and defender, and you go for winger just for money. Doesn't make sense. So this is where they've literally got a week to prove to fan base, not wrong, but to show a bit of ambition for top 4 and to push the team on. Because if we don't get midfield cover like Dennis said, or a striker like we've all said, or a defender, someone to come in, or drop in Sanchez, like confirming we're going to drop him, not just a few links here and there, then the team is not really improved. And yes, you'll get a few player signings that you said, well, you rate Caicedo and Enzo. Yes, they'll do a few of them. But if the overall consensus is we get players in for money and we get players in for market opportunities, then there's only so far you can go as a club. You need to actually think beyond that. Like, you know what? We know we need market opportunities, but at the same time, the team needs a striker. Let's get Duran. The team needs a defender. Let's pre-sign Højlund. Let's do that. Because even though we'll still do our marketing, let's get these 2 players in the spine ready for the next year. If they don't do the stuff like that, then the team's just going to be languishing like here. Like 4th, 5th, 6th place, decent squad, few injuries and mess up. Like then
the thing is, it's a type of player that you're bringing in, though, right? Like I think more so than just like getting in a player, it's a type of player because the defense. It's the problem isn't the player, it's the leadership. It's like the alpha. You need like an alpha center back, and those aren't easy to come by, right? Like you're hoping to manufacture one in what you have right now. You know, the midfield is not a problem for me. It's just what you have to do is get players off of the roster and then recall either Leslie or Santos, one of those guys. We have cover there. It's just we don't have the roster spots right now, especially with Chukwuemeka still on the roster, like all these guys, right? So he's not even actually registered. He's not even registered.
I wasn't trying to, when I was speaking, go into too much of the detailed profile, what we need specifically. I'm just saying that to addressing that position, and like you said, the quality of the player.
It's not easy though, right? It's not easy.
It's not easy, but guess what?
You're saying like Duran. Like Duran, is he the guy that's going to like make us title contenders? Because you have to be right about this now, right? You have to be right about who you're bringing into the squad right now. If we're close to contending, is Duran the guy that's going to be the one that pushes you over the top? I don't necessarily know that to be true. I haven't seen enough. But the longer you wait on him... Sorry?
The only thing I'll say, a lot of people in the chat saying very stuff similar, like Duke, Slim, Henry. Someone said before in terms of like the age and stuff. We know what the squad is about. We know what they're building. So us hammering home about we need experience isn't going to change the fact they're not going to buy a lot of experience. They'll get tossings and stuff for the opportunities in the market, but they're not going to go out their way and get 29-year-old centre. I'm just not going to do that. So I don't really think there's a point in saying that. Like, I genuinely don't think so.
No, I mean it's not necessarily an age thing. It's a mentality thing, right? You know, like you don't have to necessarily be 30 years old to exude leadership on the pitch.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah.
No, but that again, like as you say, Duran though, like I don't even know if Duran is the right fit for the club. You know, like if he were him or Jackson, maybe that would be a look, right? You'd be like, okay, well, I can probably see that hopping off, but like I think we need a completely different profile in striker. You know, not, and maybe I'm speaking this because this is what I would rather see, like somebody that's an actual plan B or
I know you're talking about Benjamin and stuff like Sesko and that.
Well, no, not even. Okay, so here's what I'm saying exactly. When you look at Jackson, what he does, and maybe this is not what I want, maybe this is what the club wants. The club seems to want the same profile of players that can do the exact same things. So then if you take off Jackson, you bring on Duran, you don't have a drop-off in terms of the philosophy of the football. I would rather have a plan B. So then when it's not working, when we're trying to bang goals with cutbacks and whatnot, and that's not working, how do we manufacture the next opportunity? What are we doing? Are we changing our tactics slightly to give the defenders something else to think about? Or are we just going to continue trying to hammer home the same thing they've been defending for the last 80 minutes? You know, so that's the problem I have. Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, jump off here. He only had 40 minutes. Love Wilf jumping on. His link will be in the description below, guys, on the playback and live if you're interested in that. He's a Real Madrid fan, so he's going to be doing a watch along and stuff for his club, man. But check that out. Dennis's channel also be below as well if you want to check him out. Does analytical videos on Chelsea and other football content as well. So that's something you should watch out for as well, man. So do your thing, subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff. But yeah, man, it's very interesting, culture, because you know me already, yeah.
Mm.
When it comes to my club, I wouldn't call myself a glass half full, but I try and be a bit objective and rather take my emotion out how I feel about the club and what I want for it and look for
Mhm.
it for what it actually is. And even me, yeah, even now I'm looking at it going, all this negativity, even in my chat today, I've never seen it this bad. Never. Because
Yeah,
even
it's tough.
before, even before when they started and we done the Aubameyang signings and stuff, it was brand new. She was like, people were laughing. Some fans weren't happy, but it was like the first year. Then the second year it got a bit better, right? And then
Mhm.
and then this year now is the third year, right, into the process, and we're doing the same as last year.
Mhm.
That's why you're getting a lot of messages like this. Chelsea defense cost zero after 1.5 billion spent. All these players are academy, tossing is free, and you guys are positive and hopeful. And you can't even say anything.
No.
And the reason why you can't say anything is because it's true. They show ambition in terms of the players like Caicedo and things like that, right? But it's only good if you buy Caicedo if you actually buy a squad around him. The same with Enzo. The same with
I don't think we're
Palmer,
that
who
far off. I really don't think that far off. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, it's really difficult to be speaking this now, but we bought some good players. We just have some injuries right now. Like I think Fofana was a massive miss, and when you look at Lavia, like that guy's a Rolls Royce in the midfield, but he just can't stay on the pitch, man. He just cannot stay on the pitch, and that is reduced what we can do as a football club, right? We only have a few spots that we really need right now. I would say we certainly need a center back, and we certainly need a striker. We certainly need a goalie, right? I think that we have enough, even though 1.5 billion was spent, it wasn't spent ultimately all poorly. There was enough. We were able to assemble enough good pieces to at least be in a position where in a couple of years we can be challenging for the league again, right? Like Cole Palmer's a great buy, and I think Jaden Sancho's a decent buy. I liked Nkunku, even though we don't know how to use him. Caicedo, Fernandez is okay. Like we still have Reece James. We have players that are useful within the squad. It's just not complete yet.
Mhm.
And to be honest, I don't even know if the idea of football is complete yet. This is Maresca's eighth month as manager for Chelsea, so he has a lot to learn too. Like, and whether or not I've been seeing all over the place Maresca out now, like real time. Like people want him out because we've gone through this period
Yeah, but
where we
this
just
this
can't
is what
see a
happens
win.
when you don't win games, though, innit? Like, think about this,
Yep.
Des, yeah. Just a few weeks ago, it was all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
Summer going into autumn, we hadn't lost a game for a while. We actually had the unbeaten record in the league of 5 games in a row. The first team to do it this season. It was all going well, and then we have injuries. And literally, as soon as our spine went, which is I'll give it everybody, was Fofana, Lavia, Palmer, and Jackson. As soon as 2 of them left and the other two lost form, we've
Mm.
dropped. So you could argue, if we're being a bit optimistic, glass half full, that the injuries is more of an issue than the actual system. You could argue the players that we've bought, even despite the fact people don't like the players we bought in terms of we need more wages on high experienced players, we need to address these issues. We still had a good start to the season, very, very good start to the season, where if we beat Everton, we would have gone top of the league 18 games into the season, which
Mm.
isn't a fluke. That's a lot of games. It's halfway through the season. So you don't just go from that to not winning 1 in 7 and there not be a massive issue. And the massive issue that's been uncovered is A, the tactics from Maresca, and B, the actual overall squad. The overall
Mm.
squad has been very overrated. Maybe not for quality, in terms of the player's quality, but in fitting the system, in terms of backups, in terms of what he's trying to do. You can't trust, like you said before, the Sassy in the high
Yeah.
line, or tossing in the high line, or Jackson game in, game out to keep doing what he was doing before, in terms of scoring, 9 goals in 14 games, 15 games. That's the problem. The club banked too much on these individuals, and now look, it's letting us down.
Yeah.
So
There was a lot.
I I,
There
I
was.
still agree with that. I still agree that Chelsea, they're not far off. So the whole fan base is switched, but I haven't yet switched. And the only reason why I done, yeah, I'm gonna give it 1 week. 1 week. If I don't see us get the players we need, I think what's realistic would be a forward and the striker.
Mhm.
I think midfield cover. If we don't get those, then I'll be with everyone else. I'm not gonna lie. Then I'll be with
Yeah.
everyone else. That's
No,
for me. What about you? You can say
no,
your piece.
I'm a patient man, so I'm gonna wait till the end of the season before I make any true assessment what needs to happen. But you're not wrong though. I think that like in terms of like squad depth, when we thought that we were one of the deeper teams, we don't have a lot of. I don't know. Like I don't think that we made a lot of quality buys in the depth areas, and maybe that just comes down to the fact that you can't when you don't have Champions League, and you can't when you don't have, the opportunities available, right? So everything that has happened in the transfer window so far might just be a reaction to the fact that we don't have Champions League football, right? Like we can't go out and get
Could
these
be.
top,
Could be.
so like you can't go out and get these top talents to come play for, I think Henry Gustavo said something about like our wage structure. If you can't offer them Champions League football as well, right? Like, yeah, it's one thing to take like a pay cut, another thing to say take a pay cut and play in the Conference League, So I'm going to wait till the summer because I think that there's more opportunities to improve the squad there, and I'm going to wait until the end of the year before I evaluate what's actually happening, at the board level with this club. I think we have made some decent purchases, but they're not all going to work. Like that just goes without saying. Like you can have a good player like an Nkunku, Yao Felix, but if they don't work to the philosophy of what the manager's trying to do at that point, then they're going to look like busted flushes, right? So yeah, their first year working with Maresca, trying to understand what it is that he wants in a footballer player, and now we have to give them the time to sort it out. That's really what it comes down to. How many managers we had in the last 3 years?
100%.
They've
had 3 years. They've had 3 years. They changed up their model the first year. Everyone forgave them. Then they had 2 years in this model, literally 2 years, where they signed Enzo Fernandez 2 years ago. And they've now seen what the Premier League's about. They've hired different managers, hasn't worked out. Maresca so far has been good. I wouldn't say great, wouldn't say poor. He's been good. So now they have to back the manager and back the system they want for the football club. In terms of fluid football, attacking football, technical footballers. And like you said, they will now have to panic because the fans have a big say. Because like the old adage said, there's more power in the people than there are people at the top. If everyone below comes together and unites, it causes a lot of friction upstairs. And that's what you're seeing right now in terms of the briefings, in terms of the PR. You can see the PR. Chelsea are going to be busy. Isn't it, Dennis? Chelsea are going to be busy. Look out for this player. Chelsea, this is one to watch. It's all news to get the fan base excited and to get them appeasement.
Well, they got to be busy, first of all. They do have to be busy because there's a lot of players that
100%. They have to right the wrongs.
Like 100%. just to get the squad down to a reasonable number, they're gonna have to be busy just loading.
And now they've realized, oh wait, a lot of these players we don't even need them anymore. Like the Sassy, get rid, make right decisions. No one's gonna be annoyed, like you said, if you're patient and you're making the right decisions. The patience goes when you're not making the right choices. Because know why patience goes? Because people they lose faith. If they lose faith, they have no direction. No direction, they should get a bit. Everyone else scatters a bit. Like, where are we going? You see, that's what's happened in real life, in real time. Sorry, people are looking at each other, going, "Hold on, all these big Chelsea accounts, us on here." We're going, "Wait a minute, what is really going on?" Because why is this guy here? Why is he still playing? Why is the Sassy still making mistakes after 2 years of being a bum? So getting rid of the Sassis is good. Getting rid of the Carneys who aren't playing is good. They're not going to pick the system, get rid, but now you must replace. Now you must get in players to do the system. I started to disagree about the Duran, about him being like Jackson. I don't think they're similar in that way. He's not.
No.
Jackson's way more. I think Jackson's, from what I've seen in Duran, Jackson's way more of a hot road runner than he is. Duran is very different to Nkunku. He's not lazy, but I think Duran's more of an actual striker, whereas Jackson gives me like forward vibes, like left forward type striker.
I get you.
mean, he's not like a number 9, whereas Duran I think is a number 9. Like he's a
maybe what I was saying is maybe that's not the
I feel like he would add a lot
to profile wise maybe not the same, but I mean in terms of like quality. Like I think they're similar.
He's not well. Yeah, 100%. He's not. He's better than Jackson. Probably
he's better than Jackson. I don't know. There's not enough evidence for that, but it's just the quality, right? Like we need to be pushing the envelope on quality, right? You know, and like I just don't see we're not doing that anywhere. Like where have we? Well, the midfield, I guess you can say, because we have the Caicedo signing and to a certain extent the Enzo signing. But where are we pushing to get players in that are of the top echelon strikers? You know, not the most available, not the one that's most available or whatever, the one that we can likely sign, but the ones that are of the top level. You know, like where is that on the pitch? We got lucky with Cole Palmer, as far as I'm concerned.
100%. But they would argue it's part of their model, and it wasn't luck.
Yeah.
So football is it could change so quick. Before we signed Palmer, it was who's Palmer? Where's your experience? Who's this player you bought in for 45 million on deadline day? And now he's one of the best players in the world and in the league. So that's what they would argue then. And that's actually, they could argue that. And that's actually a fair argument to give, which is if you trust us, we'll get it right. But the problem is the fan base is not a patient fan base. This is the wrong club. And B, we need results in terms of Champions League football for many reasons. Status of the club, money, prestige, the trophy we actually like to be in and we actually win. Like, you can't just not be in UCL for 3 years and just go, yeah, but it's a young project. There is a certain level you can do that to. And I feel like this year, there isn't really an excuse. There's not really an excuse you can give where everyone's going to go, you know what? We hear it. Nah. Some of the players have been there for 2 years now. It's not we have no experience at all. So, for me, the club's got a lot of work to do, man. They got a lot of work to do. And outgoings are somewhat more important than incomings sometimes. Like, it's very important to get rid of players who can't play in your team.
100%.
Because you know where you stand. Yeah?
That's much harder. Because, like,
Chelsea,
as much as
we're talking about Chalobah. Correct, then.
You're talking about Chalobah. Like, Chalobah in the summer, like, nobody wanted to buy him. Like, we didn't have any offers coming in for him. That's why he went on loan to Crystal Palace at the very end, right? You know, he's flourished there. And, like,
Chelsea do the hard.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say Chelsea do the hard part quite well, but in addressing the easy holes we see, they don't do. It's weird. We're very good at selling players. We're very good at PR and getting things out the door and money-wise. But when it comes to addressing issues like just getting a good profile for the centre-back position or goalkeeper, we haven't done it. That's what frustrates us. That's what frustrates us, man.
No doubt. And not only that, like, I think there's just been a lot of turnover at this club, right? And like, I think I've been saying it even since last year. Like, it's hard to really assess what we have when you just keep on bringing players in, moving players out, moving players in, change the manager, this, that. Like, there has to be a resting period where just nothing happens and we see what we actually have before we start going out and spending another 100 million on, you know, another player. I think Duke said it pretty good though. Like, this is where things gets tough too. It's like Caicedo and Enzo, we did the transaction because we're able to amortize the cost. That's true. We don't have that as a card to play anymore, where we sign these like death row contracts and it has amortized over like the length of the deal. Now we have to be smarter about not only about like getting these players in, you know, at a reasonable amount, but also, you know, incentivizing them in a way that makes it easier for them to, you know, to want to play here. You know, like, of course, Champions League football is a big part of that. Like, kids still want to play in that, you know. So until we can really get, you know, even a Europa League, Champions League situation, then it's going to be very hard for us to start saying, well, yeah, we should be attracting this type of player, X type of player, X type of player.
Yeah,
right? We're attracting the players that we can. Because remember, it's not like the quality's not there, because don't forget, Elise was the name that was bandied about all last summer. I was expecting him to come. He went to Bayern Munich. He went to go play in Germany, you know, in the Champions League.
Yeah, that's why I thought. Oh, you're making great points, man. That's why then I thought it's very important for us to get Champions League, because I feel like it would change the approach on the project, because people would now see it as a bit more established, that the project has now worked to the point where the team can get Champions League. So now you sell that to players. You could be that to Gyökeres now. We bought these young players or Tesco, we bought these young players in who helped us get Champions League. Now you're going to help us get to winning these cups. And he can go, you know what? your first step has worked. I don't mind being a second part of the step and helping you achieve that next level. Once you've got your Hoistons coming in, Durant coming, for example, and you get a replacement for Lavia if he's still injury prone, and then you start filling the squad with quality. But the problem is right now we've got miss and match. We've got Caicedo, yes, Palmer, yes, but then you've got no real centre back. The striker can't be trusted. The goalkeeper's making tangers. It's all a bit mismatch. That's the problem.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree. It's like managing the expectations with the realization of where we are as a club right now, right? We're in the Conference League. And, we're not going to be able to bring in the players that we want until we can ascend to the Champions League level, right? So, yeah, it's just wait and being patient and hoping that in time they get it right. But like I said before, even with that said, I still think that they brought in a lot of really good players. A lot of
they're
really,
likewise.
really
They're likewise. That's why I haven't been over the top my criticism, because although they made a lot of mistakes, like you said, all ownerships make mistakes. It's normal for owners to make mistakes. They're not always going to get every single player spot on who doesn't not fit the bill. But at the end of the day, if you have gaping holes you need to address, I expect my club who's competent and wants to do well for their team to go out there and sign the right players. So for me, this winter will say a lot about my club. If we can't get a striker in or a good forward in who's going to help us, or a centre back in, or a centre back for the summer, then what's really the point? You might as well give up UCL. You might as well be happy with the Conference League and just see how it goes. But the fan base, unfortunately, don't have the same time frame as you, because we all want to see UCL and we need it. It's been a long time. I'm sorry, it's been a long time. So a lot of work needs to go into this. They need to not panic buy and just get anybody in. They need to go for profiles the manager wants and the club needs. And if you could do that, then the fans won't be happy, but at least they can see you're actually making an effort to move forward. But don't panic buy and get some random player in just for the sake of it. Don't do that. But I feel like, Couch, before we go, because hitting an hour, what positions do you think would be realistic and we definitely need in next week?
Midfield.
Okay.
Midfield.
So alone or?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think that the first priority is getting people out because you need the roster spots. So I think the first priority is getting people out. But I don't see why they wouldn't recall somebody like Leslie at this point in time. Like that Southampton situation is a tire fire. Like, he has no business being there. We need the profile in the side, and with the Lavia situation as it is, like, they're talking about weeks that he's going to be out again. We're going to need somebody to come in and eat some of those minutes. Just some of them, like we can't rely specifically on.
I agree with that. If you can't get Aloni, get him back. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Or even the Douglas Luiz situation might, materialize into something. Who knows? But anything of that sort to just like eat some minutes is priority number one for me. As I said before, I think that Nkunku is a good enough striker. He's just not getting the opportunities. So I'm not as adamant on bringing in a striker at this point in time. I would rather wait for the summer to get the top targets rather than just bring in somebody because they're available now. If you might happen to think that Duran is probably of that sort. I see him in a similar bracket to what we have in Jackson in terms of like output and like, it might be good. Honestly, it might still be good, to be honest. Like, even if his output is just that of Jackson's, you have the two of them like competing for those minutes. It might be good, but I just think we can go higher if we get Champions League in the summer. So, but like for me, it's midfield and hope that we could, just put a Band-Aid over the bullet wound that we have right now, all over the pitch right now.
Yeah, man, I'll give you both the positions. I think midfield cover, I've said it earlier, I'm saying it again now. We need midfield cover. Lavia is too injury prone. He's not reliable, and we might have to address that in the summertime. But right now, we need Leslie back or bring in a Aloni of quality. Luiz sounds good. He'd be perfect. I think he would suit the system quite well to the balance in our midfield with Palmer and Caicedo. For that fullback is okay. of like wingers, they're not great, but I think they can all chip in like they've done this season. And by the way, he's on 6 goals, so if he can just keep 7 goals, he can keep doing what he's doing, is chipping. But I feel like a striker is needed to finish off those chances that Jackson's not doing, and Jackson needs competition. You could tell he's in his own head. He's not being provided competition to have a rest because no one else. And in Cuckoo, if you can sell him, make 60 million from him, that's fantastic. He hasn't played much. And get back your money. It's not nice for a player not to work out, but guess what? Couch, the game's not based on sympathy. Gabos. So you get your money back, get a striker in, we keep moving. And I would say 100%. This isn't a strike. This isn't a signing, but 100% you have to drop Sanchez. That is the final straw. If there was ever a final straw, that game the other day was the final straw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If there was any lingering of doubt, you could say, then maybe you could have that in the air. But after that game, it has been done, dusted, finalized, pinned on the wall. He has to get dropped, and if he doesn't, the manager's going to be under fire. If he puts a Kang in the next month, even the next 10 games, he can't make a mistake, and he definitely
10
will.
games, that's way too long.
No, I'm saying that like, if he didn't make a mistake for 10 games, you still wouldn't forgive him. It's just too. That's what I'm saying. There's too many errors. I'm sorry.
Right.
You can't. There's some things you do just can't be forgiven for. And the Man City game was criminal. No, he doesn't. This isn't true. He's also doing it for a reason. He doesn't want to play Sanchez, and he's not going to come out and say it in public. I don't think he likes Sanchez at all. I don't think he trusts Jackson, but he's coming out in public to back them because that's his job. In these kind of roles, Duke, you can't come out and condone your players, and that's how you get sacked.
He has no reason to want to like Sanchez.
100%. He's just saying it because he has to.
Yeah, but why would he have to though? He's the one that's playing him.
I genuinely don't think he thinks Jorgensen's ready either.
Okay, so why are we forcing him in the net then?
No. We want Jorgensen in. He doesn't. So he's doing
so he's using his judgment. Like, okay, fine. So he thinks that Sanchez is not good enough.
So here's how it's going. He's seen behind the scenes, Jorgensen's not ready. But lesser of two evils. So why don't you just play him? That's what the fans saying. Why don't you just play him to see? But he's like, he's probably worse. So he's like, I'm going to keep playing the guy who keeps making mistakes. So the board sees this because the fans keep talking about it. It's for them to sign me a new goalkeeper. Or to bring in someone else.
Yeah, I feel you. I see what you're saying.
That's my opinion.
How can you see what's happening and then not feel like he's not the goalie for you? Like, there's no way you can see this match after match and not see that he's just not the quality and not the standard.
100%. So the question then goes, why are you dropping him? And that's my.
Or the question then goes, why? Like, who signed Jorgensen and what is he doing? You know what I mean? Like, he was meant to at least push him, right?
I think Jorgensen was meant to push him. So this would be Maresca's discrepancy. So yeah, if Maresca doesn't think he's good enough, then that's an issue right now because you have nowhere else to back Sanchez up with. That's a problem. And you're not going to sign a goalkeeper in January. So something's got to give.
Definitely.
So, and at the end of the day, then you're right. It always stops at the manager. So at the end of the day, it's always going to fall on him. It's his team. So he's got to make his bed and lie in it. You got to live and die by the sword. So if he wants to choose Sanchez and Sanchez becomes his downfall, doesn't make us get UCL, that's on you. Sorry. Because at least play Jorgensen and see. That's my only issue.
Yeah.
At least, even if my logic is correct, he doesn't trust him. At least play him and just play him, and he might do better. You never know. Like, he might improve.
The issue that I have with that is only most people just want to see it because they haven't seen it, whereas he has more data and like he's seen those guys in training sessions more than we have. He has more information to go on than we do. So yes, we as fans are seeing this guy make errors, 5 errors that lead directly to goals, and we want to see the change. But Maresca has more information, so this decision is on him. Again, like he's making the evaluation. Until we see otherwise, I can only say that he's making the best decision that is available to him. Like I would hope.
100%. That's my logic, by the way.
Yeah.
People assuming he's self-sabotaging. Come on, guys. Like he's at Chelsea Football Club. I don't think he wants to lose his job over a goalkeeper. And this is two different points here. Duke saying no, he likes him. Remember, Maresca picked Sanchez over Petrovic in the summer. Again, I don't think Petrovic was loaned out because of him. I think the club wanted him loaned out to sell him in the future. Also, the other side of the coin is what I literally just said, where he's doing it on purpose to protest against sporting directors. 100%. If he's coming out and saying everyone makes mistakes, it's a very cliche argument to use. He's not going to come out and say Sanchez is a really bad goalkeeper, and despite the fact he kicks the ball out very well, he's not good with his hands. He's not going to come out and say that. But at the end of the day, he's still playing him, so the buck stops at him. So it's up to him what he wants to do. But at the end of the day, dropping Sanchez is very key. Midfield cover, me and Dennis agree on, and of course, I think a forward is very important. I genuinely think we need a forward up there. Goal scoring forward, I don't care if it's a striker. We need someone to give us more goals other than Palmer and Jackson. Because about them two, it's very, very sparse. Neto can't be trusted. Sancho's good, but he's not prolific. Madueke's a decent footballer. Like, I don't know if I said Mudryk isn't there anymore. So we need to bring someone in anyway. So
yeah, man,
it's a tough one. Literally, it's a very tough one. There, this conversation's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Melancholy. It's very depressing.
Yeah.
It's not a good. This isn't a positive conversation. This isn't very uplifting, is it? It's
not at all.
Quite low.
This is called therapy, man. This is like when you speak about things that just help get you through the day because like it's been so terrible, the last little while. So yeah, we'll have to see, man. Like I'm not worried. Right. I think that we have enough in the side that'll get us over the hump at some point. But it's just while you're mired in this terrible position, it's very hard to see out of it. But we're just gonna have to hold the faith, man. You know what I mean?
100%. Like it's not been a good Christmas time as a Chelsea fan.
No.
This January window is not being good, but like I say, with the positive, things can change quickly. So maybe next week we get a few players in, and we beat West Ham, and the fans are optimistic again. Football's fickle. This is the fickle sport we are in, guys. 1 month you're bad, 1 minute you're the best thing on earth, and you're gonna win a treble. Let's see how we do, man. And by the way, then it's also a run of games are looking kind of like up and down. So we've got West Ham, we've got Brighton B2B, we've got Leicester, we've got Southampton. So they're all winnable games. So again, if we don't win some of these games, it's not looking good. Not looking good.
It's not looking good right now.
It's meant to be our easy run. Easy run.
There's no easy run in the Premier League. We learned that over Christmas.
That's what I'm saying. Easy run, apparently. So, people, Couch's channel will be in the description below. Do us a favor. Like the video. Follow and subscribe to Couch's channels and his social media as well. It's very, very important you guys do that. Subscribe to this channel as well right now. Everybody's in the subscribe to channel. 1.2, I think we're 2 away. Yeah? So let's do that today, right now, yeah? We'll be back tomorrow, as always. Probably 2 videos tomorrow as well. Hopefully Chelsea news is positive for you Chelsea fans. Have a lovely evening. We'll speak to you soon. And God bless, man. Peace.
All right, peace.